You know, certificates of deposit or CDs, they're a classic for a reason. You get a great guaranteed interest rate, which is awesome, but there's always been that one big catch, right? Your money is pretty much locked up. Well, what if that wasn't the case anymore? What if there was a smarter, better way to get to your cash when you need it without all the pain? Let's dive in.
I mean, I'm sure we've all been there, or at least thought about it. You find a fantastic CD rate, you lock in your money thinking you're all set, and then bam, life happens. An unexpected bill, a great opportunity, and suddenly you need that cash. But just the thought of that big penalty makes you stop in your tracks. It's a classic headache.
So, let's really dig into this problem at the heart of the traditional CD. It's this constant tug of war, the promise of a great return versus the punishment for needing a little flexibility.
And here it is, the classic trade-off. On the one hand, you get this amazing, predictable growth for your savings. Can't beat it. But on the flip side, you're slammed with this rigid, one-size-fits-all penalty if your plans change. And that penalty, it doesn't care why you need the money. It doesn't care about the market. It's just a blunt, fixed rule.
Okay, but what if we could scrap that old, rigid rule? This is where a really interesting new idea comes into play. A smarter, way more flexible approach to early withdrawals. So, what does this new way actually look like?
Well, it's called the Enhanced Withdrawal Option, or EWO for short. And here's what makes it so different. Instead of that fixed penalty, the value of your early withdrawal is based on what interest rates are doing right now. And here's the best part, the real kicker. It's guaranteed to never be worse than the old penalty you are trying to avoid.
And get this, it brings a whole new level of transparency to the table. You're not left guessing anymore. You can literally go online anytime you want and see exactly what your CD's early withdrawal value is. This puts you back in the driver's seat.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Pricing based on current interest rates, that sounds complicated. And you know what? It is, a little bit, but the great thing is all that complexity is handled by the bank, on their end. For you, the customer, the experience is actually incredibly simple.
So from your side of things, it really just boils down to 3 easy steps. 1, the value is tied to current rates. 2, you can check that value whenever you feel like it. And 3, if you do decide to pull the trigger and withdraw, the bank does all the number crunching. You don't have to break out a calculator or worry about the math at all.
So if there's one thing to really get here, it's this fundamental shift. We're moving away from an old, inflexible, kind of dumb rule to a dynamic value that actually reflects what's going on in the financial world. It's just, well, it's just fairer. And this right here, this is the line you need to remember. This is your safety net. No matter what crazy things are happening with interest rates, you're protected. Your absolute worst-case scenario is exactly the same as it was before. There's literally no new risk.
Okay, this is probably the question nagging at you, right? It sounds awesome for me, the customer, but what's in it for the bank? It almost sounds a little too good to be true. Why on earth would they offer a potentially better deal, maybe even give you a little bonus to leave early?
The answer, and it's a good one, is that it can be a win-win. So look at it this way. If interest rates in the market fall after you've locked in your CD, that high rate you have is now more expensive for the bank. So they actually have a real reason, an incentive, to offer you a fair price to cash out early. It helps them manage their books, and you get a fair deal. But, and this is crucial, the final call is always 100% up to you.
All right, so let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. We're going to look at the 2 main scenarios. What happens when market rates go down, and what happens when they go up.
So here we go. On one side, if market rates fall, your CD is suddenly more valuable. Your early exit could actually be better than the standard penalty. You might even walk away with a small bonus. Now, if market rates rise, it's going to work more like a traditional penalty. But look at the guarantee that runs through both scenarios. The payout is always fair, and it is never worse than the standard penalty.
So, let's just hammer this home one more time, because it's the most important piece of the puzzle. Your early withdrawal value has a floor, a hard floor. It cannot, under any circumstances, drop below what you would have gotten with that old standard penalty. It's all upside potential with a built-in safety net.
Okay, let's wrap up with a quick Q&A. I want to hit on some of the common questions and worries that might still be rattling around in your head.
First up, the big one. This whole idea of pricing based on current rates, does that make things a huge pain for me, the customer? Is it going to be complicated?
And the simple answer is, nope, not for you. For the bank, it's basically just flipping an extra switch in their system. The only thing you need to remember is, they do the math. You just get to see a clear, simple number.
All right, next question. What about risk? Are we adding some sort of new, scary market risk into what's supposed to be one of the safest places for your money?
Absolutely not, and that's a definite no. The product itself is the exact same FDIC or NCUA insured CD you already know and trust. Nothing about its fundamental safety changes. This option only changes how an early withdrawal is calculated. That's it, full stop.
So if you're going to walk away from this with just 3 things, make it these. Number 1, it's priced with today's rates, not some ancient rigid rule. Number 2, the bank sets a fair, controlled price that can actually be good for both of you. And number 3, the big one, it's never worse than the standard penalty.
Which brings us to a final, pretty big question. When you can have a smarter, more flexible option like this, one that gives you a fair value and guarantees no new downside, does that old one-size-fits-all penalty even make sense anymore? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?